Thank you all so much for being here. My name is Kathleen Benton, and I'm the President and CEO of Hospice Savannah. On behalf of the Hospice Savannah staff, I welcome each of you to the Demery Center for Living and the 33rd Annual Tree of Light ceremony. It is our honor tonight to share this time in your grief journey with you. Whether your loved one was a Hospice Savannah patient, or you're here after receiving grief support as a member of our community from Full Circle, it is our honor to provide care, empathy, and compassion along your journey. We hope that this service will be healing and that some solace is found for you. As we prepare for the rest of the service, I encourage you to take a deep breath. Slowly let it out as you become present in this moment with the memories of your loved one. Remember that we all joined a club that no one ever wanted to join. But we can hold the light for each other as we find our way along this journey. As a community, we can heal. Now it is my honor to introduce Nancy Sheets, who is the chair of the Hospice Savannah Board of Directors. Being board chair at Hospice Savannah is a huge job, and we appreciate her commitment to all of our programs. Again, we welcome all of you, and we truly thank you for taking the time to be here.
My name is Nancy Sheets, and my clinical background is as a nurse. And is this okay? I believe wholeheartedly in Hospice Savannah because of all the services that are offered. So I'm the chair of the board of directors, and on behalf of the board of directors and our affiliate boards, I'd like to welcome you to the 2024 Tree of Light ceremony. Hospice Savannah is an integral part of our community, and we're proud of all the services from diagnosis through the grief journey that we're able to provide. It's an honor to be here tonight, and I thank all of you who took the time and thought to make a donation supporting the vital grief support programs, Full Circle Grief and Loss. I especially want to thank the presenting sponsors, Gulfstream, a General Dynamics company, and Landmark 24 Homes. I also want to acknowledge those who sponsored what I know will be wonderful musical offerings. Savannah Area Young Council of Realtors. A special thank you goes to all those who are the grief support sponsors. Without all of you, these programs would not exist. So I hope this provides some support and solace this holiday season. Thank you.
Someone tell the river we lost our girl last week. Telling how she used to laugh and then a little offbeat. How she'd walk through her garden holding church with the bees. Singing in the choir with the daisies on the breeze. Someone tell the river I thought I felt her last week. Driving with the windows down in her old red Cadillac. I took the long way home and listened to her favorite song. Lord knows I remember every word. The world keeps spinning, but I'm standing still, searching spaces she used to fill. The days get longer and the nights are colder. A wild heart I can't let go of. the flowers in the fields to grow. She let them know it was her time to go. Her traveling spirit with the stories to tell. A wondrous melody I know too well. I write her letters, tuck 'em under the sky, where wishes and whispers go to fly. The world keeps spinning, but I'm standing still, searching spaces she used to fill. The days get longer and the nights are colder. A wild heart I can't let go The world keeps spinning, but I'm standing still, searching the spaces she used to fill.
Good evening. My name is August Alderman, and I am a bereavement associate here with Full Circle. And I have a reflection on trees and grief to share with you this evening. Writers tell the stories, painters paint, singers sing, and poets rhyme about trees all the time. Artists, scholars, and mystics have contemplated the wonder of trees as we climb trees and count their rings to decipher their ages. Trees fascinate us at all stages of their lives and of ours. My granny used to tell me when I was a baby, I would crawl away from her and she would find me under the window in her living room. She said I would go and sit there to look out at the trees in her front yard. She said I looked like I was deep in thought. I grew up in Richmond Hill, where we lived near the edge of the woods. When I was a child, I played in the woods, running, skipping, hiding behind the trees, going through, ducking under the limbs with wild abandon. As a teenager, I went to the woods to get away. As a young man, I would sit beneath the trees to write. Sometimes, someone we love very much, someone we have known well, someone who watched over us in this world, someone we watched over, dies. At times, nature takes on new and deeper meanings. We notice the trees, we notice leaves in a way we haven't before. About trees, the Reverend Dr. Otis Moss writes, "The tree's strength is not in its branches, not in the trunk. The power of the tree is found in the roots. The strength of the tree is not in what you see, but in what you cannot see, what is invisible. The tree stands because it has roots. Love that is invisible shows up in how we live." On the morning when my mother left this earth, as she lay dying, I held my head up to hers. I felt her forehead against mine, and in that moment was all eternity. Nothing that I could see, yet everything that I knew, as she had once held her forehead to mine when she was a young mother to me. This time, saying goodbye. There was an imprint created. And in that moment, the trees kept reaching for the heavens through the night of her preparation and early into the morning. Looking up in the woods, I can't tell one limb from one tree and another. The limbs all meet in the middle. Their leaves all fall to the same ground, meeting at once, at last. I invite you to gaze out there upon the trees in the field. I invite you to let your gaze roam from the trees to the limbs to the skies above, and to imagine the faces of the ones you love.
To the lover of my youth and the solace for my age, my protection from what harms. You will reach for me on our darkest days, and I will come home to your arms, and I will hold you dear while my shadow's long and my eyes are clear. I know these days will pass away, so I will hold you dear. Oh, blessed Mother and the Father I adore, there is time upon your faces. I will cherish you till you leave me for your eternal holy places. I will hold you dear
name is Michael Ciccarelli, and I am a bereavement counselor at Hospice Savannah's Full Circle Grief and Loss Center. Within that role, I have the privilege of facilitating the Survivors of Suicide group, which is generously funded by Carlton and Nancy Sheets. In honor of those who have attended that group, and in memory of their loved ones, I'll be sharing an excerpt tonight from Iris Bolton's book, My Son, My Son. Iris Bolton wrote this book following her son Mitch's death by suicide. The book is part memoir of her family's experience and part guidebook of how they began to heal from their loss. Iris spent her career advocating for suicide awareness and appropriate grief support following suicide. The death of a loved one by suicide can evoke so many different emotions. This excerpt shares Iris's experience speaking about the death of her son's friend, Randy. Thank you for listening, for your time, and for being here tonight. I hope it could help bring solace to you as you walk your own journey with grief. Iris wrote, "So think about Randy," I urged. "Talk to each other and to your parents. Some of you may want to cling on to your guilt until it turns to hate. If you do, it will deform you. I have a thing about guilt. I say if you feel guilty, feel guilty. Get into it. Feel it until you're tired of it. I say, if you feel mad, feel mad. If you feel sad, feel sad. I mean, get into it hard and do it all with no self-judgment and no blame. If you feel guilt, it's because you're normal and you're human. But if you choose to hold on to that feeling forever, you may need to ask yourself why you need to stay there. Are you punishing yourself for something that's real? Sometimes it feels like you're saying, if I don't feel rotten, it is like I'm betraying Randy's memory. But by hanging on to your own self-punishment, you may turn mourning into a lifestyle. And that can produce a twisted human being. I urged, most of all, don't deny your feelings. When you deny, and what you deny acquires enormous power over your life. Those things that you push back into your mind, like the word suicide, for instance, pile up inside you. And when the pile is big enough, it may explode. I believe that things you don't deal with openly will fester and swell until they require enough power to control your life. The point is that if you feel something, even if it's negative, lay it out on the table and look at it. Look at it. And then you may eventually get tired of it. And then you can let it go. It's natural to agonize over Randy's death, I concluded. But don't stay silent. Talk about the wild things he did, the good things, the bad things. He was a human being like yourselves, trying to find himself. Yesterday we buried him in Arlington Cemetery, but don't you bury him in the back of your minds. Keep him up front, because he was part of your life and part of your learning experience. So honor him by speaking his name.
Corner of your smile, all the little things
My name is Betsy Camrood, and I'm the Director of Full Circle and Counseling Services at Hospice Savannah, and it is definitely my honor to be here with y'all tonight. I began thinking about my experience with holidays lately. My brother died in July, unexpectedly, but then again not. It nudged a lot of memories off their dusty shelves. And this time of year, it's memories of holidays. Currently, my favorite holiday is Halloween. It is wonderful seeing everyone come together just to hand out candy and bring a moment of joy to little kids. When I was a kid, I loved Thanksgiving. I loved it mainly because my extended family would gather at our house the weekend before Thanksgiving, and they also celebrated my birthday. I loved gathering together just to be thankful for each other and celebrate me. I never really liked Christmas, though, even as a kid. I always had a sense that something was missing. I always received plenty of Christmas presents. Actually, I never liked that aspect of Christmas either. Most of my life, my father, a United Methodist minister, served churches that had at least 2 charges. Christmas Eve meant hurrying through dinner and then getting to the first church. My dad usually went before us. I didn't want to go. I wanted to stay home with my whole family, listen to Christmas music with the lights of the trees twinkling. But off we went, because that is what we did. Then it was rush to get home and get ready for the midnight service. Again, my father not with us. I have the most vivid emotional memory of not wanting him to go out on those cold, snowy, often stormy winter nights. I never felt at home at Christmas. I've searched for that feeling my whole life. Then my mom died. The first Christmas after her death, my dad went to my brother's house. And I wondered, who was with my mom? Silly, I know. But my little kid heart didn't want her to feel like she was alone. So I started singing I'll Be Home for Christmas to her every day that Christmas season. Something again was missing, except this time it was my mom. It had never been my mom. Christmas Eve will find me where the love light gleams. Christmas was her favorite season, and she loved looking at all the lights. We would always get hot chocolates and drive around and exclaim, "Oh, look at the lights!" Hers was always said with a hint of childhood glee. I remember the year she died, I had told a friend that I was going to continue that tradition, and they said, "Oh, that sounds fun." I didn't know how to explain how desperately incomplete the experience would be without my mom. I had 4 more Christmases with my dad. He loved getting chocolate and always a new pair of socks for Christmas, because that reminded him of his childhood. He always wanted to go to Christmas Eve services because he so closely felt all the memories. I think he always felt something was missing too. I told him I'd always be home for Christmas. He could plan on me. I had 4 more Christmases with my brother after Dad died. We didn't spend many of them together as adults. The magic is in the memories of coming home after the midnight service and finding that special someone, a world traveler, if you will, had been there. We would both rush in to see the extra presents under the tree. What I learned later in life is that my brother knew a secret about those presents. He didn't tell his little sister because, in his words, I deserved to believe the world was good and magic was real. I still believe. When I was about 5, everyone was abuzz about the Star of Bethlehem being in the night sky. Remember, this was the 70s. Entertainment choices weren't as abundant. It is one of my first really clear memories. My mom and dad drove my brother and I out into the country, which didn't take very long when you lived in the south end of Superior, Wisconsin. We parked by a clearing in the woods. We got out of the car, each of us carefully bundled up against the northern Wisconsin winter by my mother, and walked to the center of the clearing. The only sound was the crunching of the snow beneath our feet. The cold air, so clean and crisp, almost so cold it took your breath away. We looked up. I thought I saw a few satellites that were the star, but no, they were satellites. But then all of a sudden we found it. I so vividly remember seeing that star. My father holding me in his arms because I had kept wandering off into the woods to look for fairies and elves and woodland sprites, explained that people around the world were seeing it, and for thousands of years people had looked up to see that light. My 5-year-old brain was awestruck by the idea, but I couldn't quite fathom that amount of time. I think about that star now, and I really hope others after me have been awestruck and filled with wonder at the idea of being connected by thousands of years of human beings looking up to the sky. I look up into the night sky now, and I think about my mom, my dad, and my brother, and that one particular cold winter night. Poet John Rodell wrote, When I lose my head to the growing darkness, I look up at the blinking night sky. I don't try to take in the entire cluster of stars. I train my eyes on a single one at a time. I become obsessed with the stars I can barely see, the ones that look like candles about to drown in their own celestial wax. And how old their light is by the time it reaches me. It is like reading a postcard from time. The twinkle of a blaze that may have faded long ago, but is resurrected inside the magic room of my eyes. Science tells us these hard-to-see stars are long dead, but while I look at them, they are alive again. Yes, the fading star may not burn where it once did, but somehow it exists here in my sight. Thank you for your attention, and in the darkness, may you still see the light of your memories.
You can go wherever you wanna go. to the moon and say hello now. You can go wherever you wanna go. You don't ever have to go to war no more. Never have to go to war no more. Wear them boots and swim that icy shore now. You don't ever have to go to war no more. Everybody. You can get up on some sunny day and run 100 miles just for fun now. Heartaches and yesterdays don't wait till now. You can get up on some sunny day and run. You don't ever have to pay the bills no more. Break a sweat or walk a worry floor now. Working like a dog ain't what you're for now. You don't ever have to pay the bills no more. You can go wherever you wanna go. Go wherever you wanna go. Go to where the times run all the way down. Put a penny on the track and wait for train sounds. Tell your mama you're coming back before the sun is down. You can go wherever you wanna go.
Following this candle lighting ritual, staff and volunteers will fan out with a lit candle to light yours. Always remember that unlit candle goes towards the lit candle. As we read the names and memory of your loved ones, please feel free to leave your candle burning for as long as you like. When you are ready, blow out your candle knowing that while the flame is extinguished, your love never will be. As we light these 5 candles in honor of our loved ones, we light one for our grief, one for our courage, one for our memories, one for our love, and one for our hope. This candle represents our grief. The pain of losing you is intense. It reminds us of the depth of your love for us. This candle represents our courage. To confront our sorrows, to comfort each other, and to change our lives. This candle is in your memory. The times that we laughed, the times we cried, the times we were angry with each other, the silly things that you did, and the caring and joy that you gave us. This candle is the light of love. Day by day, we cherish the special place in our hearts that will always be reserved for you. We thank you for the gift your living brought to each of us. And this candle is the light of hope. It reminds us of love and memories of you that are ours forever. May the glow of the flame be our source of hopefulness now and forever. We love you.
Good evening. It is our privilege tonight to read the names of your loved ones in their memory. Please forgive any mispronunciations. If you're waiting to hear your loved one's name and feel the candle wax becoming an issue, please feel free to blow out your candle. Sit back, take a deep breath of compassion, and slowly let it out with empathy as we hold a bit of each other's grief for a moment.
Calvin Graham, Bonnie G. B. Kraft, Melissa Sellers, Jolly L. Stevens Jr., A. Hunter Wood Jr., Robbie Youth, Wesley S. and Catherine M. Turner, C. B. Lamar Jr., Robert and Philippa K. Pattison, Earl Middleton, Al Mueller and the Clearly family members, Joe Brennan, Frank Davis, Dorothy Lee Riley Ponder, Andrew P. Calhoun Jr., Bobby Glenn Fripp, Donna Allen, Lucille B. Hendry, G. Pasco Phillips, Richard Benet, Len Winter, Nell Burke, Mary Birch, Martha Hughes, Vicky Ackner, Joseph Ackner, Alma Driggers Gill, Etta M. Klein, Eva J. Carl, Bob and Jean McGinn, Mary and Bill Cook, Charlene Crawford, Viola Wiggins, Alice and Bonnie Ricks, Kenneth H. Edgehill, J. Epstein, Deacon Elmer Sr., Ben Heron Jr., William E. Smith, Bill and Marilyn Engelhop, all of our loved ones, Michael W. Sprouse, Charles Stafford, Mamie S. Clay, Mrs. Shirley Sienkiewicz, the Langan family, Nancy Pedadruiski, Joseph L. Siliberto, Susan R. Cohen, Xavier and Sierra London, Laura Ann Ambrose, Edward Billick, Almar Serency, Lauren Miller, Rudy and Ann Moore, Karen Monroe, Joanne and Hubert Espinia,
Albert Strickland, Linda Broderick, Joseph Jojo Brune III, John Cavouatu and John E. Cavouatu, Frank and Florence Allegrati, Ray Andre Simmons, Gail Vanessa Carrington Ruiz, Jess and Marcella Heinley, Eunice Brunson, Lisa Chardonnay King, Mrs. Willie Mae Johnson, Mr. Cornelius Eugene Johnson, Kirby Linder, Sheila May Hildebrand, Beatrice and Abraham Gershbein, Helen and Tony Miluski, Randy Ray Neiman, Mr. and Mrs. Horace Laseth Sr., Mr. and Mrs. Thomas Anthony Meehan, Mr. and Mrs. Ralph D. Wheeler, Mr. and Mrs. Ralph C. Beach, Mr. and Mrs. Thomas Russell Meehan, Mr. Jack Coriel Laseth, Mrs. Patrick Meehan Laseth, Jean and Kenneth Beltramini, Mario and Lucy Di Pietro, F.D. Rabbit Royer, Benjamin Herman Wright, Audrey Tucker, Mrs. Willie Mae Major, Rebecca Felton Meyer, Ethel Skeens Clifford, Audrey Gray Fetterbush, Mary Darden, Ellen H. Culberson, Alfred and Muriel Carnegie, Ann K. Stewart, Charles L. Stewart, Charles Lee Stewart, Heidi Suzanne Carroll, Anne Inglis, Leo and Kathleen Spivey, Leroy Beasley Sr., Haskell Beasley, Charles Beasley, Julius Green, Marietta Floyd Green, William Horace Jones, Martha Miller Whitehead, Willie Washington, Emma Jean Kicklighter Thomas, Dr. Leslie Wilkes, Ray Taylor or Bun, Betty Sue Taylor or Meemaw, Dale and Lois Huseman, Diane Carter, Tommy A. O'Keefe, Larry Mesner, Frank K. Peoples, Mary B. Conaway, John Brannon, Kathleen Murphy, and Lee Clark, Ethel and Walter Carson, Donald Max Mills, Kathy Tucker, Jane O'Brien, Hope Turner.
Jill Anderson Cope, John Willard, Paul Anthony Butchner, Karen Ellis Nelson, Arthur Garza, Linda D. Burke, Michael Blaze Dayob, Robert Lapsley, Millie Gutierrez, Martha Hughes, Michael Deshawn Whipple, Richard Hagan, Robert Sharkey, R.B. Hayes, Doris Wallace Hayes, Joseph Weatherby, James E. Cole, Wendy Delano, Lee Marmaris, Andy Calhoun, Peter Pauling Stewart, Patricia Goodwin, Yvonne and Oscar Heil, Sheila Heil Fragola, James Allen Hares, Jean Keller Fair, Vera Hayes Fields, Clarence C. Fields, Romy L. Fields, Brenda Fields Reynolds, Essie Palmer Lumpkin, Busey P. Stokes, B. Preston Stokes Jr., B. Preston Trey Stokes III, Cracker Stokes, Monica Stokes, Emma J. Withington, Karen L. Edenfield, George Adam Keller, Deborah Gross Palmer, Thomason H. Reynolds III, Mrs. Sarah V. Hall, Barbara Hetherington, Donor's mother, Albert R. Andres, Edward Billick, Denny Coulter, Donor's mother, Christopher Slade Ellington, Joseph Weatherby, Timothy Darren Kersey, Carol Tooten, Lana L. Tucker, Sonny Smith, Sarah Murin, Michael Scott Walden, Frank Cabela, Juanita Z. Verrill, Susan Roundtree Chapman, David R. Smith III, Mr. and Mrs. Alvin B. Carter Jr., Bob Contino, Margaret Spillards, Mark Mamalakis, Ernest Williams, Denny Coulter and Donor's parents, Julie Alderman, Karen Zimmer.
Anthony Cook, Patricia Looney, Glenn and Lois Liach, Paul Grassi, Marion Hollerman, Samuel M. Webb, T.C. Atkinson, Catherine Jones, April Washington, Susan Lau, Johanna Anderson Trueblood, John Clanton, Rufus Terrell, Richard Valentine, Italo Visco, Eleanor Schweigert, Walter C. Battisti, Terry Brown, James Jim Buffalo, Sadie Esther Cooperman, Dorothy Creed, James Goethe, Carmen Potter, Helen Scherf, John and Elizabeth McLaughlin, Lloyd D. Thompson IV, Margaret Barnett Johnson, Lindsay G. Svetley, Monica Jung, Arthur Ike E. New, Rose M. Tootle, Sam D. Tootle Sr., Gloria and William Watts, Stephen D. Tootle II, Jacqueline Barthelmess, James D. Woltman, David King, Herman and Pauline Kirschner, Howard R. Kling, Seth Lakin, Rebecca B. Carreri, Robert Osborne, William Osborne, James E. Utsi, Jesse Lee Underwood Sr., Daniel F. Mullen, Amla B. Mullen, Rachel S. Phillips, Larry Joe Phillips, Mary Clody, Bertha S. Friedman, Christopher Geiger, Mary Ann Porter, Marjorie Lamar, Ernest Hendricks, Wendell Hendricks, Smaragda Huddleston, William L. Monroe, Donald M. Connor, Ernest Williams, Roberta M. Smith, M.D., Loy Wynn and Hugo Hendricks, Earl, Audrey, Eric, and Dina Camerood. Thank you.
Listen, everyone, the time will come when all of us say goodbye. Feel the aching in your heart, leaving you broken inside. But we're never really gone, as long as there's a memory in your mind. So now go do the best things in life. Take a bite of this world while you can. Make the most of the rest of your life. Make a ride of this world while you can. Take the ones you love and hold them close, because there is little time. And don't let it break your heart. I know it feels hopeless sometimes, but they're never really gone, as long as there's a memory in your mind. So now go do the best things in life. Take a bite of this world while you can. Make the most of the rest of your life. Make a ride of this world while you can. And hold on to memories. Hold on to every moment to keep them alive. The world's greatest tragedy, souls who are not remembered cannot survive. So now go do the best things in life. Bring the fight to this world while you can. Make the most of the rest of your life. Shine your light on this world while you can. And hold on to memories. Hold on to every moment to keep them alive. The world's greatest tragedy, souls who are not remembered cannot survive. And hold on to memories, hold on to every moment to keep them alive. The world's greatest tragedy, souls who are not remembered cannot survive.
It has been such an honor to be with all of you tonight. Thank you all for your attention and for holding each other's grief, even for just a short time. Before we go, I would also like to thank our guest performers this evening. JJ Collins, our guest vocalist, has shared her talents with us now, I believe, 7 years. Katie on the bass, Zach on the cajon, and David on the keyboard have shared their talents for a second year. My staff and I are so grateful to all of you for your commitment to this service and your willingness to share yourself with us. You all have our enduring gratitude. I would like to thank all of you for your generosity and your support for our grief and loss programming. We exist for you and because of you. As you go through this grief journey, always remember you never have to do it alone. Our programs are listed in the back of the program. I encourage you to give us a call for support. In closing, I would like to share the poem, Peace, My Heart, by Rabindranath Tagore. Peace, my heart, let the time for parting be sweet. Let it not be a death, but completeness. Let love melt into memory and pain into songs. Let the flight through the sky end in the folding of the wings over the nest. Let the last touch of your hands be gentle like the flower of the night. Stand still, O beautiful end, for a moment, and say your last words in silence. I bow to you and hold up my lamp to light your way. Thank you all very much. Please make it home safely and let us know how we can help. Take care.